Welcome to the show, ladies, on a Tuesday. And men. Why did I say ladies? What is this, The View? Hashtag me too. Ah! Okay, Whoopi, you know about being sexually harassed. What up, kids? 833-599-NICK. 833-599-6425. Welcome, patrons and Patreon members. Real quickly, dates. You can get these at nickdip.com. My tour dates this Saturday night, the Comedy Shop, Bud Lake, New Jersey. Friday, November 30th, and Saturday, December 1st, the Corner Comedy Club, Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Saturday, December 22nd, the Comedy Works, Saratoga Springs, New York. New Year's Eve, Monday, December 31st, Tarrytown Music Hall, Tarrytown, New York. Saturday, January 12th, Fairfield Theater Company, Fairfield, Connecticut. Saturday, January 19th, Bobby V's, Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Saturday, January 27th, the Ventura Harbor Comedy Club, Ventura, California. Trying to line up more stuff out there. Friday, March 8th, just added the Wood Theater in Glens Falls, New York. Did that on the Nick is Right tour. Saturday, March 9th, Cohoes Hall, Cohoes, New York. One of my favorite gigs. Friday, April 26th, the Steel Stacks, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Saturday, October 18th of 2019, Ridgefield Playhouse, Ridgefield, Connecticut. Another really gorgeous theater. And it's nice to get out of the comedy clubs. Although, like I said, Mohegan Sun surprised the hell out of me. If they could all be like that, I'd be one happy motherfucker. Jason's in the house by himself. Ryan has Pilates or tap. Something like that.
I believe it's goat yoga today.
Goat yoga. Yes, goat yoga. He's very big into the goat yoga. What's going on? Same stories, advanced a little bit. We talked about the White House and fucking Jim Acosta, and they took away his pass because he's a petulant little asshole. I put on Twitter, when I, list some of the subjects we're going to talk about, I said, silly CNN sues. And you can't put anything, even a little right wing, on Twitter. Somebody goes, yeah, that's silly First Amendment, sarcastically. Yeah, that's what Trump's doing. He's trying to shut down Jim Acosta forever, permanently, so he never speaks again on TV. He's already over in Paris, you asses, ready to cover Trump, okay? He's not trying to shut him down. It's not a First Amendment issue. It's a decorum issue. How about a little fucking professionalism instead of being a petulant child? How about not starting an argument with the president and asking something in the form of a question first instead of saying you're wrong about it being an invasion? The guy's a fucking grandstanding jerk off. He's shallow. He's an empty suit. He works at CNN. Even they don't put him on TV that often unless Trump's in the room. He's a dick. He's an asshole. It's got nothing to do whether he physically touched the intern who tried to take the mic from him. All this. Honest to God, arguing it at like a sixth grade level, the left, just making me fucking sick. If you can't see Jim Acosta, that's the thing. That's why we're doomed as a species. Assholes can't recognize other assholes. Yeah, Trump's taken away his First Amendment right. You'll never hear Acosta speak his opinion again. How long have we heard that? He's an authoritarian, Trump, a dictator. Yet CNN has 150 people in the room. And not one network has been shut down. So stop with your fucking hyperbole and your absolute horseshit. CNN.
This is CNN, the most trusted name in news.
So White House denied Acosta access last week and confiscated his hard pass after a heated press conference, shouting match with the president. Man, a shouting match with the president. Think about how Obama got his ass sucked every minute by the clash ended with brief physical contact with a female intern who tried to take the microphone. What is this, the NFL? There was a little bit of interference, but no. CNN sued on Tuesday on First Amendment grounds, claimed Acosta was denied a Fifth Amendment right to due process and asked the judge for a restraining order. On Friday, Trump told the Daily Mail as he left the White House that he hasn't decided how long Acosta will be without credentials, and more bans may follow, and I hope they do. You ought to ban all of CNN. The whole fucking propaganda arm of the Democrat. Get rid of it. They are the enemy of the people. That's not hyperbole. They've been lying not just about Trump, but every Republican president for the last 40 years. If you can't see how left-wing and full of shit they are, Donna fucking Brazile, I hate to bring her, she had the questions before the Bernie-Hillary debate. She was a regular on there. I mean, give me a break. They have montages. They have montages online. If you pull up CNN gaffes and lies. The suit names Trump, Chief of Staff John Kelly, who might be out soon, Press Secretary Sarah Sanders, and other aides, along with Secret Service officer who took the press pass. Why is he being sued? Doing his goddamn job. Former George W. Bush lawyer Ted Olson is representing CNN. Again, let's take a look at it. I feel like John Madden when they tell. Here's the, we played this the other day. Here's the Trump thing.
I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
All right.
And if you did it well, your ratings
Let
would
me
be
ask,
much better.
if I may
Okay,
ask
that's
one other
enough.
question, Mr. President, if I may ask
Peter,
one
go
other
ahead.
question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's
Mr.
enough.
President,
That's
I was going
enough.
to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
What a
Pardon me, ma'am,
petulant little
Mr.
fuck.
President,
That's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other
Peter,
question,
let's
if
go.
I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have
I'm not concerned
indictments-
about anything with
that you
the
may have
Russian
indictments coming down?
investigation because it's a hoax. That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
I thought Trump was in a...
Mr. President.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Go ahead.
ABC you should be working about.
I think that's unfair.
You're a very rude person. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way. Go ahead. Go ahead, Peter, go ahead.
In Jim's defense, I've traveled with him and watched him. He's a diligent reporter who busts
Well,
his
I'm
butt
not a
like
big
the
fan
rest
of yours either, so
I understand.
to be honest.
So let me ask you a question if I can. You
All right.
repeatedly
You are,
said-
you are
right.
the best.
How about that guy defending him? The president didn't ask if you were a fan of Jim Acosta. Of course you are. You work with him. You work at CNN. You're as bad as he is. You have no moral compass. What a fucking dick. Oh, he's a diligent reporter, and who gives a fuck? He's a petulant child. Can you imagine what a spoiled little bitch? They shouldn't let him in for a year. You know they're going to give him back his pass. But for people online to go, he's got a First Amendment right, like we're going to shut him down permanently. Take him out and shoot him in the back of the head and do us all a favor. Nick, why are they going to go there? I don't know. But that video we just showed you, the White House put out their version, and they were accused of doctoring the video. There's a guy named Shapiro. He's a video expert. Said that the audio didn't match up, and they said that they think the White House doctored the video to make the incident with Acosta and the intern, look more in their favor. Here's the doctored version. Oh my goodness. That could have happened. Acosta could have done that, and CNN and the rest of the cum guzzlers at MSNBC, ABC, CBS, New York Times, they'd be defending him. They'd be going, he didn't hit her that hard. First of all, he's a lefty. He hit her with the right hand.
It was a First Amendment right cross.
There you go, Jason. Jason throwing in with a jab. Just ridiculous. This is what I like to do to Jim Acosta's face if I ever met him. There'll be jizz flying out of his mouth. Oh, what are you going to... Few people just listening, that was a picture of a guy getting punched in the face in slow motion, water squirting out of his mouth. Oh, my aching stem. 833-599-6425. Let me give the president another idea when it comes to CNN. How about banning them from all the airport terminals? Since Ted Turner started that back in the 80s. And can we do that? All the Delta terminals where CNN is blaring. Nobody's listening. They are literally pumping their propaganda into your head as you're getting on the plane or while you're sitting there. And nobody's watching. I look around. Nobody. everybody's reading a paper or a book. Nobody, just background. I got into it with a lady at Albany Airport. I said, "Can you turn that down?" Fucking, oh my God! Imagine that being the last voice you hear before your plane crashes. Fucking Wolf Blitzer. So yeah. Oliver Knox, president of the White House Correspondents Association, said in a statement that the group strongly supports CNN's goal of seeing their correspondent regain a U.S. Secret Service security credential that the White House should not have taken away in the first place. Really, Oliver? Sanders, that would be Sarah Sanders, responded, "We've been advised that CNN has filed a complaint challenging the suspension of Jim Acosta's hard pass. This is just more grandstanding from CNN, and we will vigorously defend against the lawsuit." She continued, after Mr. Acosta asked the president 2 questions, each of which the president answered, he physically refused to surrender a White House microphone to an intern. This was not the first time this reporter has inappropriately refused to yield to other reporters. The White House cannot run an orderly and fair press conference when a reporter acts this way, which is neither appropriate nor professional. The First Amendment is not served when a single jerk-off reporter, no, I added that for emphasis, of more than 150 president attempts to monopolize the floor. Did you ever see anybody at Fox do that to Obama? Ever? Ever? The answer would be no. Even Brett Baer had a great one-on-one with Obama, and he was pushing Obama's buttons and almost verging on rude. I was watching it. He was actually talking over the president, which, But did you ever see anybody start with Obama going, "This is why you're wrong. It's not an invasion"? Who asked you? Hard pass. It's the only thing hard he has. What? What does that mean? I don't know. I just thought I'd throw a thick joke in there. It is comedy. Comedy. Oh, my stomach. Coffee and cigarettes doesn't do it justice. I'm wearing something from the Ellen DeGeneres collection today, if you notice a nice flannel with a necktie. She's doing voiceovers on national commercials. Good to see they're giving her a shot, huh, finally? Saturated in political correctness. They can't wait, the Dems. They're already targeting 85 people in the Trump administration as far as possible, subpoenas, and oh my God, you thought you were seeing nothing getting done in the first few years, which is not true, actually. Wait till you see what's coming once Leather Nipples Pelosi takes the hammer, which somebody should pull from her, and bang her into the ground like a fucking steak. Nick, that was a good one. Oh, yeah, I'm on fire. 833-599-6425. Give me a call. I don't feel like working. 833-599-6425. You know who Kirsten Gillibrand is? Openly gay, blonde, green-eyed witch from New York. Was best friends with Harvey Weinstein. There's literally hundreds of pictures of her standing next to Harvey Weinstein. Remember that when I tell you this story. She's the biggest hypocrite and phony fuck. Imagine close friends with the Clintons, yet she's out there. She was leading the hashtag Me Too and close friends with the rapist Weinstein. Excuse me, alleged. Tuesday morning on MSNBC's Morning Joe. You know Morning Joe. He's got the eyes of a banjo player in Deliverance. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, a Democrat, New York. What else? Discuss President Donald Trump in the House of Reps' role once the Democrats hold a majority. MSNBC's Willie Geist asked Gillibrand if she still believed Trump should resign, given a group of women accused him of sexual assault. The potential 2020 presidential candidate said the president should resign, but said if not, the House will hold him accountable in office. Here's her shooting her dirty, filthy, clam-lapping mouth off.
You said a little under a year ago when this group of women came out and accused the President of the United States of sexual assault that he needed to resign. Yeah. Do you stand by that? Do you still believe he should resign?
Yes, he's got over a dozen credible allegations of sexual assault and harassment. But then you can add to that everything else. I mean, this president has, again, torn at the fabric of who we are as this country.
Shut your fucking hole.
I think he is being held accountable right now by the electorate. The fact that all these voters have been marching and protesting since he was was elected and then took it to the ballot box in 2018. That's why 2018 was such an important election for all of us.
Got it. So people have been protesting since he took office. You mean the ones that fucking were paid for by Soros and we have evidence of and beating people up in MAGA hats? Those are the American values you're talking about? Or your best friend Harvey Weinstein, the rapist? You fucking hypocritical hoe, you. You are as dumb as a bag of rock. The Clintons. How many women charge Bill Clinton with rape? And she's out there. This guy, this president has several allegations of sexual harassment. You are shameless. I don't know if you're dumb or shameless or both. Gotta be fucking kidding me. This is who New York elects. People like her, de Blasio, Ocasio-Cortez, Chuck Schumer. You get what you deserve, New York. You didn't learn anything from fucking 9/11, did you? Not a goddamn thing. How dare she? Have you no shame, mister, sir? And I do mean sir. But, the values that America, you're a gay woman. And again, don't tell me you see the world the same way a straight woman or a straight guy does. You don't. You have a chip on your shoulder. You've been bullied your whole life, and you see yourself as a victim. Wah, 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 wah.
I'm gay, I'm really gay, I'm super duper gay, I'm gayer than a rape.
Yeah.
You stupid fucking blabbermouth cunt!
Oh, take it easy. Oh, there you go, Jason. You are right on top of it, my fella. Look at that. Can you imagine having the balls to come out and compare what Trump's being accused of with what this guy has done? And we have empirical evidence. We have hidden microphone, from the cops. We have audio. And she's, look at her, just as dumb as a bag of rocks. Another man-hating machine. But the one she likes, the powerful, rich one, sure, they're a potential rapist, but that's who she sides up with. Bill Clinton, Harvey Weinstein has the gall to bring up Trump being accused of anything. I don't know, Kristen. Waste of tits, I say. New York, I don't know what you're thinking when you vote. I really, really don't. Remember all the accusations? That woman on the plane said Trump tried to molest her and shit, and then nobody could fucking prove that. And, allegations. What we got here? Who's on the line? I'll hold before I go into the next story, and that way maybe these people will be on topic. Jason's in there working by himself and doing a fine job, I might add. Yeah, so what is it, Tuesday? What do they want, Jace? Who is it and what do they want? I got to cover this thing that this guy Nolte, John Nolte, from Breitbart wrote about Victoria's Secret. What do you get a load of that story? Apparently, those girls aren't sexy enough or entertaining enough when they do that Victoria's Secret TV special they do every year. That gets like literally billions of people watching across the world. You can only guess what people are complaining about. Brian, what's it say? Brian Long Island, a line from last week. Last week, what? The show last week? Brian,
what's up, Nick?
What up, Brian?
So, how you doing, man? So I cannot get over this line you used when you were playing a Bill Hicks clip, and you go, you're not laughing to one of you guys.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, that's funny. I'm just not laughing. And when you said, what do you do when you find something funny? Shit your pants? I can't get that out of my head. I think about it morning and night.
What did I say to him?
You said, well, I don't understand. When you find something funny, what do you do? Shit your pants?
And that
he said he thought it was funny, but he wasn't laughing.
And you thought
I can't get that out of my head.
I don't know why. That's like a fucking very mediocre thing I said off the top of my head. But I'm glad, Brian. I got much better shit than that. But I'm glad it tickled your funny bone.
No, I know you do. But it's those little fucking lines that keep me going every goddamn day with the show.
Yeah, people like that. Even when I'm on stage, they say it's the stuff you mumble after the joke that they eat up. And
that's
yeah,
yep.
yeah. That's I'm glad you liked it, bro.
Yeah, that's it. I just wanted to tell you that. I loved it. I just can't get it out of my head. So,
All right.
Anyway, you're doing a great job. Keep it up.
Thanks, bro. Brian from Long Island. Hello. Brian in Long Island. Hello. Pat has opinion. Pat's a well-informed caller about Miss Gillibrand. Pat, what's going on?
Yeah, hey Nick. So Gillibrand was my congressional rep from 2006 until 2009. And I'll be very honest with you. She started out, she was rather conservative for a Democrat because this is a more conservative area. She got like an A rating from the NRA. She came out and said, I sleep at night with
the muff in my mouth,
a rifle under my bed, and if I wish she'd go to bed with my gun in her mouth. But she, yeah, and all of a sudden she became senator in 2009. Governor Patterson appointed her to fill Hillary Clinton's seat. And man, did she become Schumer's lapdog as soon as that happened.
Yes.
And ever since, and I told my parents that was going to happen with her. Both major parties just fall in line with who the leader of the party is, and I'm happy that the Republicans have gone more the Trump route than the Bush-Romney route. But I mean, she has gotten worse and worse as time's gone on.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's just the epitome right now, thinking that someone like Trump should resign without any due process over allegations. It's just
shallow.
It's craziness, and I'm telling you, if these people get a hold of our entire society, it's gonna crumble. And I mean, it will be a civil war if people like this just get a hold of all the power.
I'm almost hoping. I'm almost hoping for it. Thanks for the call, Pat. I'm almost hoping for it. We need a bloodletting at this point. Like they said in The Godfather, when our 5 families go to war, every 10 years or so this happens. It's good. It gets the bad blood. But yeah, no, can you imagine if fucking Hillary won? I mean, it's already, people are losing their careers that lean right in their politics or even left. I mean, even the Matt Lauers of the world or whatever, the Louis C.K.'s and stuff. Think about it. If a Gillibrand and people like her or Hillary, was running the country. I mean, because they're fascists. They're fascists. They disagree with you. You could get canned for saying something wrong or a tweet on the radio or think about it. So I don't understand how you could vote Democrat in your right fucking mind. I know I have fans with Democrat, and that's fine, but I don't understand it. The party's gone so far fucking, and he's right. Especially with Gillibrand, because they documented her 180 she did, and just a two-faced, just shameless. And you know why? You know why they're shameless? She knows she's going to get elected again. It's New York. You can do whatever you want. You got guys like Ryan, my buddy, fucking voting Cuomo. He wouldn't know Cuomo if he ran into it at the food court or at the fucking tap dance class with another tank top like his, a very super gay tank. But that's why. I mean, shameless. And Hillary's still out there. I'm reading articles how it's each article in the last couple weeks. First was like, nah, she doesn't think she's going to run. Now it's like, maybe. Now somebody came out that works for her and says she's going to run. And why wouldn't she? We know this. We have such a half the country is so ignorant and PC and falls for that horseshit. And she won the popular vote by 4 months, blah, 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 blah. Why wouldn't she? Why? Because she's stiff. She's unlikable. People can't relate to her. But the retarded people who vote for her say, we don't have to relate to her. We know that she's a crook. We're going to vote for her anyways because we fucking goose step with the rest of the party. We don't get out of line. That you can give the Democrats thumbs up on. They are as tight-knit as, like most crime families. You know what I mean? You didn't see Polly Walnuts talking outside the fucking... Anyhow. Minnie Matrone. Oh, no! What are you doing? I'm calling your mother, you little shit. I'll take you and Ma to Pal's cabin.
She's a malignant cunt.
Jason is becoming a fine radio guy. Jason, you understand? We had the sound drop. I don't have it on my iPad. That's where you nailed it. It's funny when Ryan's not here. It fucking runs like a Swiss watch. Ryan, I'm kidding if you're listening, which you're not, I'm sure. I'm sure there's a Silver Spoons marathon on you watching in your pajamas. What do we got? On to the Victoria's Secret thing. This was in Breitbart. Boy, if this isn't... People used to talk about a gay agenda, and people, what are you talking about? They're just coming out of behind the shadows. Victoria's Secret is under withering fire from the uptight left over its lack of representation. This is Nolte and Breitbart. This is not about race, creed, or color, mind you. This is about Victoria's Secret not putting, get this, biological men, transsexuals or transgenders, and fat people, plus-size models, in its lingerie catalog and fashion show. That's where we're fucking at. Can you imagine?
Your son looks like a fag to me.
He says, yes, you read that correctly. Beautiful women who choose to use their God-given and hard-earned beauty, women who choose to market their own sexuality, women who choose to enter into a transaction between consenting adults where she chooses to be objectified and he chooses to gawk, women who choose to drive the rest of us crazy by engaging in the age-old art of giving us a peek at what we can have, women who choose to make a living as the living embodiment of the stuff of fantasy. Now that's considered controversial by the uptight left. Boy, that said so well. But guess what? He says, you know what would not be controversial? Guess what would remove all that controversy and turn this very same procession of scantily clad models into something acceptable? No joke. This is the answer. All Victoria's Secret has to do to end this public relations blackmail is to add biological men, transsexuals, transgenders, and fat people, plus-size models to its lingerie catalog and fashion show. Imagine looking at a Victoria's Secret catalog. You know what? Something's missing here. I don't like these girls with ripped stomachs and bubble asses and perfect lips and tits. We need a hairy ass crack and somebody who might have a vagina, might have a dick, or both. That's what I want. A woman in pigtails with a nice 5 o'clock shadow and no tits and fucking calves like canned hams. That's what we're missing. A woman who lives on fucking lasagna and heavy cream. Somebody who's got a gunt. I don't want to... Can you fucking imagine? But that's not the crux of the issue. He gets to it beautifully. I'm not going to pretend it's mine because he's fucking so eloquent here. During an interview with Vogue, Victoria's Secret Chief Marketing Officer Ed Razek was berated for not being inclusive. And all this poor guy said to launch the witch hunt that followed. He says, we attempted to do a television special for plus sizes in 2000. No one had any interest in it. Is that right? Nobody wanted to watch a bunch of fat broads in their fucking underwear? You girls and feminists can keep hammering that and hammering that. You can't fucking change the DNA in men. Do you understand that? You can't legislate the horniness out of us and what we're attracted to naturally. Keep trying. But everybody has to be, no, they don't. I wanted to be an NFL running back. Didn't happen. Faster, bigger, stronger fellas. I didn't sit there going, but we have to include little fucking white guys that run a 4.6 40 with fucking average hands. Grow the fuck up! So they did a special for plus sizes and nobody wanted to watch it in 2000. Our show is the only branded special in the world seen in 100 countries by 1,006 million people. 45% more people saw it last year than the year before. So they're doing something right. Our direct business is growing substantially. Double digits on a monthly basis. Sort of like a girl who lives on brownies. Wait. Shouldn't you have transsexuals on the show? No, the guy says. No, I don't think we should. Well, why not? Because the show is a fantasy. It's a 42-minute entertainment special. That's what it is. It's the only one of its kind in the world. And any other fashion brand in the world would take it in a minute, including the competitors that are carping at us. And they carp at us because we're the leader. So first off, Razik is under attack for using the term transsexual instead of transgender. Apparently the term transsexual is now forbidden. And he goes on to say that's what they do, the fascists. They change the language so quick that you don't even know, you're not even aware of it, and then they can point at you and go, you're a homophobe, blah, 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 because you don't know the difference. This is what they do. They control people's behavior with language, and it turns into legislation and hate and bullying and all the other faggotry that we hate. That's what he says. These fascists change the language without informing the rest of us, which allows them to smear us as an ist or a phobe, simply because we didn't know the language had been changed. That's what fucking fascists doing.
Emporführung durch eigene Arbeit, durch eigenen Fleiß, eigene Entschlossenheit.
Yeah, I'm looking at that picture going, Jesus, I'd like to see, I don't know, a broad that looks like Rosie O'Donnell in that that black girl's outfit. Imagine Rosie in those socks. It would look like 2 pastry bags filled with dog shit. Yeah, the girl, the second one from the right in, yeah. I mean, why would you want to see that when you can see a guy, maybe one of his nuts dangling, yet he still has tits? Nick, this is horrible. This is hate. This is the internet. Fucking lick it. I mean, can you fucking imagine? And he gets to the best point at the end is, he says, fun and escapism in fantasy can no longer be allowed. You see, because fun and escapism in fantasy are controversial and will remain controversial to a point where Victoria's Secret is being threatened with a red smear of a scarlet letter until it agrees to destroy its own brand. We've seen this before. We've all watched as the woke fascists destroyed the Boy Scouts, the Miss America pageant, every award show, the NFL, Playboy, and the final season of House of Cards. And he says it's going to happen again here. He's so spot on with this shit. If you want fashion shows and lingerie catalogs filled with biological fellas, transsexual, transgenders, and fat people, plus size models, by all means, he says, do it. But why does Victoria's Secret have to do it? Knock yourself out, he says. That's the American way. You have my full support. What is not American, though, what is un-American, in fact, is the relentless bullying, intimidating, and threatening of others to do something that they don't want to do. And boy, I mean, that's as good an article and as concise. And I was watching college football a couple of years ago, University of Minnesota, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But I remember reading, they mentioned right in the broad, they were trying, I read it in an article. They were the feminists on campus were trying to get rid of the cheerleaders, the whole cheerleading program, because it is, anachronistic and antiquated and sexist and misogynist, and these girls are playing up to the expectations of men, yada. You've heard it from all girls with gunts and lazy eyes and fucking big ears. And again, you know what that's all based in? That's all based in envy. That's the worst of any of it. That's just based in envy. Why would you try to get rid of that? If the girls, like he says, choose to do that, they know they're being objectified. What business is it of yours? Because you would never make the cheerleading team in the first place. And those are the girls that were mean to you in 5th grade. Grow the fuck up. Grow up. The guys and the women in the audience love it. And again, if you want to have a college football team with all transgender guys as cheerleaders, that'll be fine too. You'll probably get shit thrown at them. Hot dogs and shit, which they would love. But, other stuff. Popcorn, cans of Coke. Full Heineken, right off the fake tits. I just get hit with a piece of lasagna. But why do you have to force your shitty worldview, by the way, that how they represent transgender, again, how much of the population they make up? 0.5%? But let's see it their way and the people who think like them. Get off it. You want to see a cheerleader doing a cartwheel and big hairy balls flying in the air? Again, if you want a good laugh and you're drunk, maybe throw one in there. But they were talking about getting rid of the cheerleading program at a college, the feminists were. Again, because you have to see it their way. You must be some dumb broad to want to entertain men. Us men live for those dumb broads. I used to say that in my act. All I wanted was a You know, very, almost a semi-retarded aerobics instructor for a girl. Just smart enough to find a way home from the gym. Girls would laugh at it. Some of them. Not like the two pigs who got up on the first show Saturday night, 5 minutes into my act, and started to leave. And I go, where you going? They go, you're an asshole. I was on stage 7 minutes. I said, it usually takes 12, 15 minutes before people realize I'm an asshole. And then the woman gives me the finger, another thing, because she knows I'm not going to come out and fucking headbutt her, although I'm not so sure anymore. Please tell me, what do we got? JD, does it say? I can't see. JD in Nashville. What's up, brother man?
How you doing, Nick?
What's happening? Pick up the pace.
Not a lot. I like that. Oh, Jesus Christ! Take it easy. I like that new shirt. Must come with when you bought a new chainsaw. Anyway, I got.
Nice talking to you. Whoops, something happened. He get cut off. I don't know what happened. I hit the wrong button, but he can call back. I don't know what happened. He goes, he actually had a good one. The shirt must have come with a chainsaw. Yes, it did. And a vibrator and a strap on and many other things that came with you, JD. So anyways, I thought that was very spot on as far as what Mr. Nolte said regarding the fascists coming down here. Let's slow it up a little. New Mueller indictments expected as soon as Tuesday. Oh, CBS reports. So it has to be right on the money. New indictments from special counsel Bobby Mueller investigation of Russian interference. Oh, we're still doing that? You're still looking for shit, Mr. Mueller? Remember, this is a guy that was in charge of the Whitey Bulger shit when it was going down in Boston, and he put 4 guys in jail wrongly, and 2 of them died in jail. But keep that in his resume. I know he was a Marine and stuff. I understand that. But what happens once you get into politics? This guy was once a Marine? It really fucking... Let's go back to JD. Go ahead, JD.
All right. Hey, listen, what I was saying is you were talking about, like, the voting receipt.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with that. So what I did was I kind of beat the system on it where I just filmed on my phone every single thing and then just went through it, and then I actually printed it out. So I kind of went through it, and I've got a record of everything that I voted for. If they're not going to allow that to happen, why not do it yourself?
Yes, but you know what'll happen now, which I'm glad you took up my idea. It's a good job. I told my wife I was going to do that, and I never did it. I mentioned it like a couple elections ago. But you know what's going to happen? Let's say people start doing that, JD. You know what's going to happen? And then the Democrats go, whoever. You know how they can do shit with CGI and stuff? They're going to... They'll make up a whole bunch of...
Exactly.
I'm glad you did that, man. I
actually thought about that afterward. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm glad you did that. It's... I mean, wouldn't that be fair once you vote? You take a picture with the guy that works there. You're holding up your thing. And, I don't know. I think it's a good idea. That means it'll never see the light of day.
Best way to do it. I've got screenshots of every single thing that actually, as my finger was hitting the buttons. And I just did the whole thing video. And then I would take screenshots. And I've got it like in a folder. Like that's I guess... just in case. And they're like, no, you voted for it. No, I didn't. I got this right here. Mate.
Yeah.
I guess it'd be called evidence, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, love the show, man.
Thanks, JD.
Keep it up.
All right, brother. Yeah, people down in Florida wish they did that. There's people calling in now. I was listening to the radio today how some people voted and before early voting and their names are showing up on ballots that are showing up after the election closed. And oh my God, that Snipes is filthy. Filthy. Makes Hillary look clean. I mean, but again, she's a African-American older woman working in the Deep South, so nobody can fire her. And if you disagree with anything she did, and she's a fucking crook, she has a passed. Even Jeb Bush came out of the woodwork today and said, why have they not fired her yet? And but if you say that, you're a bigot and a racist. Once again, that's the answer to everything. So, yeah, new indictments coming down. Right-wing author and conspiracy theorist Jerome Corsi told viewers of his YouTube live stream broadcast Monday he'd been cooperating with the inquiry since receiving a subpoena from the FBI agents at his home in August. He said he expects to be indicted by Mueller for some form or other of giving false information in the probe, despite doing everything he could to cooperate. I mean, I've heard of this guy, Corsi, but Corsi said the possible charges arose related to Roger Stone. You know, my buddy Roger Stone, he was filling in for Alex, who Jones on InfoWars, and he had me on as a guest. I Skyped in, and he used to love my radio show. It's serious. You got to Google him. You talk about an interesting dude. He had like a tattoo of Nixon on his back when he was like in high school. I mean, this guy, they show him marching in like the gay parade. He didn't have a shirt on. I mean, just an eccentric, smart dude. And I love the fact that he loved my radio show. He said he was like disappointed when it went off. But, of course, he knows this guy. And, Roger Stone's a longtime Republican operative who was the Trump campaign advisor, and his ties to Russia and WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. The theory out there by Mueller and other people is that that's how Assange got the Hillary stuff out there, through a liaison. We thought it was my buddy Randy Credico. Isn't this fucking weird? I know two people, Randy Credico, who also knows Roger Stone, and they think Roger Stone might have been the liaison. And he's denied it many times in public. It's the way he worded it and shit. But it's really creepy, the power like that Mueller has. And so it'll probably end up being nothing. But I see them all crowing Adam Schiff, and they can't wait to get back to the Russian collusion thing. It's so important that they put it aside when the caravan shit started, the hashtag me. It goes away, and then, they've tried everything. Congressional Democrats have called for Trump's choice of acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker to recuse himself from the Mueller probe, writing in a letter to Justice top ethics officials that his past statements indicate a clear bias against the investigation, and that his relationship with a grand jury witness in the probe raises additional concerns about his ability to supervise the investigation independently and impartially. That's the guy that's replacing Jeff Sessions for now until Trump appoints a permanent guy, this guy Whitaker. And I was watching a few lawyers today on TV say he can have a bias against the, but I don't know what's going on as far as the grand jury and his relationship with a grand jury witness. They didn't really get into that. So wouldn't that be funny? People have to keep recusing themselves. This guy had Russian dressing. I saw this guy rushing out of his house to work. I mean, they're really getting fucking touchy with this shit. But I like that my boy Roger Stone's in the middle of it. Always in the middle of it. Interesting dude. Interesting. 833-599-6425, the phone number. Zach in Pittsburgh also took photos. You took photos of when you were voting, Zach?
Yeah, as soon as I got a phone that could take photos or video, that's exactly what I did. Especially, years ago, hearing that Nevada, the union that donates the most money to old Harry Reid, is in charge of the voting, the digital voting machines. I'm thinking, I better take photos of this.
Yeah. Well, they accused the Republicans of that too one year. I think it was when GW was in office, that the machines were made by some corporation that donated to Republicans. Meanwhile, every fucking lawyer in the country, every media person votes Democrat. 90% of them. And so that's funny, yeah, that people document. So I told you I got to vote for president in Minneapolis. When they voted one year, the guy took a picture of it and fucking emailed it to me. Put my name for president. I got to vote.
But Nick, something I noticed a couple times on news reports here for the midterms. They would do a generic 6 o'clock news, 11 o'clock news sting, and they just have some generic photos of random inside random voting areas in the Northeast. And I noticed booths now, they would have taped to the front of the individual booth like a picture of a camera with a no smoking or or Ghostbuster sign through it. So the left is already probably trying to quarrel that. Anybody try to make additional evidence of exactly how they voted. And I don't put it past them.
Yeah, no, I don't either, man. They're filthy, fucking shallow, shameless people. Thanks, Zach.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, brother. Zach in Pittsburgh. Hey, do you see that video of this Chinese woman in China, not in New York or any of the cities around here? But I always see shit like this. She's walking down the street and a sinkhole fucking opens up. Watch this.
咁樣面對面冷冷靜靜咁樣傾偈，係因為我想話你聽一個好重。
Can we see that again? I love shit like this. Well, people say life's short. Oh! Catches her face on those bricks. She's day to day, they said, with a concussion, but it looks like the Jets will have her on Sunday. I just found that funny. I find people getting hurt very funny. Not too seriously hurt, but there's nothing funnier than somebody falling down some stairs or falling down an escalator, banging their head on something, falling through ice, a little kid tripping and catching the corner of his forehead on the coffee table. That's the type of shit that makes me belly laugh. I can't explain it. My dad always found that shit funny, too. Please tell me what to do. I don't know who I am. Life is a testicle, a magical popsicle. And all the birds in the trees, they were shitting on me so happily. Oh, yeah. We don't have the video of that. But, Mike, see if you can pull it up before I put Mike on. Kat Timpf, friend of mine, not too good a friend. She doesn't return my text now. You know who she is. Greg Gutfeld show, the cute blonde with the glasses. And she's not even a far right or far left. She's a libertarian. She's about right down the center as anybody I know. But Fox News personality and National Review contributor Kat Timpf was forced to leave a bar in Brooklyn, the People's Republic of Brooklyn, over the weekend after a woman she had never met became enraged upon learning she worked in conservative media. Can you fucking imagine?
You're fucking crazy.
Timpf, who has twice previously been harassed while socializing in New York City. Here's her story. I wanted her to Skype in and stuff, but I haven't heard back from her. So after arriving at the bar, Timpf became separated from her friends and found herself in conversation with a man she didn't know, who inquired what she did for a living. Timpf explained that she worked at Fox News, and the conversation proceeded unremarkably. A while later, Timpf was confronted by a woman who, after hearing she worked at Fox News, became enraged and began shouting at her in a threatening manner. If you don't know Brooklyn, folks, and you're not from, it's to the left of San Francisco. All these little hipster douchebags in their ironic T-shirts and their silly beards and just anarchists and fucking. She had a bottle. I mentions it later, but she had somebody dumped a bottle of water over her head in Brooklyn at a show one night, and just the fucking worst. Just filth. Passive aggressive little fucks too. You know, they're not even physically intimidating. You ever see those Antifa faggots when they take off their masks and then they speak? I mean, they sound swishy even. They're rich, spoiled little white kids. I would love to see Black Lives Matter go at it with fucking Antifa. And after they kill Antifa, they put on that white, then they get in trouble. They're appropriating the white culture. They put on the Guy Fawkes, whatever the fucking guy's name. Yeah, the lady went into a rage. This girl started going nuts, Kat Timpf says, on me, screaming at me to get out of the bar. I found it very threatening, Timpf said of the woman, who she had never met before. She said she tried to move to another section of the large bar, the non-douchebag section, but the young woman followed her while continuing to scream. Probably Sarah Silverman. The woman, who was visibly intoxicated at the time, was surrounded by a large group of men and women who all stood by and laughed as she harassed Timpf and followed around about like lefties would do, because there's safety in numbers. It's a pack mentality. No guy would step in and help her. Not exactly fucking ugly. But it's Brooklyn and it's hipsters, so half of them don't know if they like dick or pussy, so I can see the confusion on their Abe Lincoln faces. After realizing no one in the group would defend her in what might become a violent situation, Timpf was forced to flee the bar. It was super uncomfortable, and I didn't want things to get physical, she said. Last year, an identified man dumped a bottle of water on her head while she was preparing to speak at a local campaign event. That was in Brooklyn, too. And she was again harassed while eating at a Manhattan restaurant several months ago. This is the third time this has happened to me, so I'm just over it, she said, adding that she has no plans to limit her public exposure despite the hostility. So she says there have been times where I'm hesitant to go out without my glasses because it makes me more recognizable. But I have to live my life. Exactly. Don't let them fucking change anything. Bunch of guys standing around laughing, a bunch of fucking lib douchebags. I suggest, Kat, you find new places to hang out. Upper East Side, a lot of rich white folk. Old crusty blue bloods. But then again, you'd be giving in, wouldn't you? So, weaponize yourself. Get a little, little mace. They got all kinds of things for women. It looks like lipstick. You spray the guy, fucking burns his retinas out. Nice cup of cat piss. Put a lid on it. And that's my secret weapon. But don't take that shit, especially if she gets in your face. I mean, I can picture. God, I want to see a description of the girl. A beard, like a hipster. Skinny jeans. Gunt. Please tell me what to do. What's that?
I think I found that video.
Well, I don't even remember what I asked you.
Trump, I guess, scowling at someone who was sleeping during.
Yes.
He'd be there in a heartbeat, and he'd send in more than an ear-punishing James Taylor. In fact, we'd never abandon France, even if we had to invade the country to save it again. But overlooked in all of this, the greatest thing. During a somber event marking 100 years since the ceasefire that ended World War I, here's the Moroccan king dozing. And please, you must wait for the end.
La France salue avec respect et gravité les morts des autres nations que jadis elle a combattues.
The best.
Oh, my aching stem. The same look that he gives Jim Acosta when he walks into the fucking press room. You, sir, are asleep. You are a fake king. That was beautiful. Thank you, Mike Rossi. See that scowl? He's racist. That was the king of Morocco. Trump's racist. Look how he's looking at that person of color, that gentleman of color who's taking a nap. Did everything but dump a bowl of milk over his head like it was 1950 in Alabama. Yeah. Was that? Okay, but we just show what he wants to talk about. So, Mike, what's up, brother man?
Hey, what's up, Nick? Yeah, apparently you just showed the video. Hey, listen, after I gave you that donation yesterday, I shit you not, I took 6 shots of vodka and went to bed, and I said, Jesus Christ, my last 12 ex-girlfriends told me the same thing. I'm a miserable prick. Maybe this the Paolo guy knows what's going on. But doesn't that sum up Trump's presidency in 8 seconds? If you're not high energy, get the fuck out. You know what I mean?
What donation did he give me, Mike? Did I read it?
No, I just a super chat.
Oh, super chat.
Yeah, you read it.
All right.
You said I was a miserable prick. And, yeah. All right.
I did not call you. All right. See you.
I'm joking. All right. Thanks a lot.
See you, Mike. No, Mike's a Rhode Island, like I said, which is just southern Massachusetts, and he had that fucking reminded me of me. After about 2 seconds, you're like, this guy is sucking the fucking life out of me with his negative energy. You know how many times I've heard that in my life? Oh, about every 3 seconds. I guarantee Mike hears this 5 times a day, even when he was like 7 years old. What's wrong? Fucking nothing. What's wrong? You're the 11th person to ask me what's wrong today. That's what's wrong. But that's Massachusetts. That's New England. Very fucking salty people. Until you get to know us, then we're terrific. Jason, am I correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Jason, you grew up here in Westchester?
I did.
You did. I did. Like he's under oath. I did, sir.
I swear.
I swear. All right, let's get to it. Almost done here. Please tell me what did the Giants beat the 49? I couldn't pick my ass in this football pool. If again, Giants were getting 3.5. They look like a fucking minor league team. And I know Garoppolo was hurt and shit, but still, the Niners, the last time I watched them, they looked decent last week. I could not gamble to save my life. Speaking of sports, Serena Williams. You know how I feel about her. I have, anyway, Serena Williams named GQ Woman of the Year. That would be Gentleman's Quarterly. I'll repeat that. Gentleman's Quarterly named Woman of the Year. Because they used to do man of the year, but they, again, we can't do that. Because there's no difference between men and women. That's why, that was the argument to change it and let women be in Gentleman's Quarterly. And here's the story, because it involves gender. What else? And fucking race. By the way, I have a little soft spot for Serena Williams. Like I said, and I've told this many times, leaving the Howard Stern show one morning, very early, probably this is 15 years ago, and I was heading into the Stern show, and she's walking outside, gives me a big grin, like she actually thought I was cute. I probably had a 6-inch grease stain on my chest, on my coat, that she was smiling at. But, you know, she actually said hi, and I was like, hey, that was Serena. But yeah, she's built like a fucking weak side linebacker. I agree that tennis great Serena Williams has been named GQ's Woman of the Year, but the magazine's cover has caused a stir on social media. What doesn't cause a stir on social media? Just go on there and go, I prefer Pepsi over Coke, and then just watch the fucking Twitter feed go crazy. Blue smoke will come out of your iPad. Fucking childish. That's one thing that social media did, was expose the fucking emotional level of 6-year-old retarded people, the average American, at least on Twitter. I'll say it again. So she's named GQ's Woman of the Year, but the magazine's cover had caused a stir when many questioning why the word woman was in quotes. 37-year-old called the champion by the magazine, in quotes, features one of 4 covers of December's Men of the Year issue wearing a black long-sleeve turtleneck leotard. GQ, it's not enough that she's included in the men's edition. That's not enough. But to put her name in quotes, and I'll tell you why it was in quotes, if people would calm the fuck down before they jumped onto Twitter. GQ, which first made women part of its Men of the Year honorees because it gave into PC horseshit, and I'm glad they're getting bit in the balls for it. In 2003, included the American alongside actors Michael B. Jordan, Henry Golden, and Jonah Hill. What the fuck they got to do with it? GQ's cover has sparked controversy on Twitter, however. Many users seemed unaware that the typography was handwritten by designer Virgil Abloh, who uses quotation marks in his work. Abloh collaborated with Williams and Nike for the Players U.S. Open outfit, which featured Serena in quotes, in quotations, on her trainers and logo on her tutu dress. On her tutu dress.
Why is everyone so fucking stupid? Why aren't more people intelligent like me?
In other words, people were saying, because, you know, a lot of people, and I say it, and I'm a fan. I go, it's not fair. She's, you know, of course she's going to kill these women. They you know, they don't have half the physique and blah, blah, blah. And yes, that's an advantage. But she's still a woman. So I only take that argument so far. Some people say she shouldn't be playing. Bullshit. She's a woman with a built like a brick shithouse. I think they should prove she's a woman on national TV. You know, like Howard Stern did with that bodybuilder. You remember that? Yeah, you're too young, Jay. There was a bodybuilder, half man, half woman. But everybody said that's definitely I can't even remember if she looked like a woman or a guy. But everybody said that's a guy, a transgender, and it wasn't. Howard Stern made her, you know, show her private parts, whatever. But the point being, Serena's a woman, so you can only whine so much. Mick Rouse, research manager for GQ, according to his Twitter bio, tweeted, because it was handwritten by Virgil Abloh of Off-White, who has styled everything in quotation marks as of late. Last year, in an open letter on Reddit, Williams wrote about being called a man because of her muscular physique, writing, I've been called man because I appear outwardly strong. It has been said I don't belong in women's sports, that I belong in men's, because I look stronger than many other women. First of all, you are stronger. It's not just looks. But she says, no, I just work hard, and I was born with this badass body and proud of it. I'm with her on that. But the point being of the story is you assholes on Twitter, right away, you saw fucking some type of gender defamation going on. Why is woman in quotes? Because the guy who designed the goddamn that puts everything in quotes. Is there anything else we can fight about? I'm a dick. No need for quotations. Is that what you say? But, yeah, she was born with that fucking, powerful body. And does it give her advantage when she's playing a girl from Switzerland who weighs 11 grams, soaking wet? Absolutely. But, of course, CNN uses the best picture of her. Like, that's the best picture I've ever seen of her facially. She's actually pretty in the face. Nick, why are you saying actually? You trying to stir up some shit? No, I'm just saying. She's better than her sister. Serena, and who's the other one? Kevin?
Venus.
Venus, if you will. Finally tonight on George Stephanopoulos' Meet the Greek Midget. Bay County allowed some hurricane victims, this is down in Florida, to vote by fax or email. That's not allowed. The top elections official and heavily Republican, but they're still finding votes in people's ass cracks at the beach, in sharks' mouths. Pigeons are dropping them. It is really Florida. That woman snipes. They ought to fucking strip search her, make her do a stool sample. You'll find some hanging chads. The top elections officials in heavily Republican Bay County said he allowed some displaced voters to cast ballots by email or fax after Hurricane Michael hit the Panhandle. Michael was Republican, by the way. Even though there is no provision for it in state law. So you can't do that. I mean, it's simple as that, right? Bay County Supervisor of Elections Mark Anderson said Monday that 11 ballots were accepted by email and 147 ballots were domestically faxed in. Though state statute does not allow emailed ballots, and faxing in ballots is only permitted for military and voters overseas. But Anderson defended his decision. He says, you did not go through what we went through. That doesn't matter. And I'm taking the other side here. Doesn't matter. What's the law say? He's going to try to. He said, describing areas that were shut off by law enforcement and people barred from returning to their homes. If some are unhappy we did so well up here, I don't know what to tell them. We sure had an opportunity to not do well. I can tell you that much. Anderson said that all of those ballots were verified by signature and that voters were required to sign an oath. And this is the thing. If I can validate it with a signature, the ballot is there. How is that different than a ballot that comes in through the post office? I don't know. It's too deep for me. All I know is the law says you can't fax it in or whatever, then I'm sorry. Anderson had said earlier Monday that about 150 ballots had been accepted by email, and he also told local television news station, which first reported the ballots returned by email Friday, that 147 displaced voters had sent ballots to his office that way. Is fax an email, or is that an electronic transmission device? Well, electronic transmission, that's email, he said. I knew some of them had been returned via fax, but I've had arguments with some people that electronic communication is all email, so I figured I'd throw them all together, which I can kind of understand. Scott won roughly 74% of the vote in Bay County. That would be the Republicans, so that's why, the Democrats that are stealing Broward County and the other fucking... I still can't get over the margin. Rick, was it Rick Scott? I think it was Rick Scott, when the election was over, he won by 57,000. The next day it was down to like 33,000. The next day it was down to 21,000. You have to be. How stupid do you think we are, Dims? Pretty stupid. Yeah, well, Trump beat you, so let's not call us stupid. Governor Rick Scott issued an executive order on October 18th that allowed election supervisors in 8 hurricane-hit counties to extend early voting days and designate more early voting locations, among other measures meant to lessen the storm's impact on voting. But it did not allow for votes to be returned by email or fax. Voting by fax or email is not an option under the executive order of the Florida Department of State, stated in a news release that accompanies Scott's order. I think this is Anderson talking. He said he had informed the Department of State about halfway through the mega voting that he intended to accept some ballots submitted by email. Seems pretty clear to me. But it's not 1/10 as egregious as what's going on in Broward County and the DeSantis Gillum race, where Gillum conceded and then he took it back when he found out Miss Snipes has got some shit going on. Maybe this thing ain't over yet. Why are you making it racial, yo? I'm not. I'm just saying. Florida, what the fuck is your problem? That's a picture of my shin after I fell off my bike in 5th grade. See how the blue areas are infected? What's it down to now? Do we even know? Whatever. They don't have the balls. They do not. Is that recently? Is that today?
It's as of like 5 minutes ago.
Oh my, 50 to foot. You're kidding. You're kidding. Oh, this is priceless. This one was close. Wait a minute. Which one are we looking at? Nelson Scott. No, this wasn't close. Do they have the gall? I'm almost hoping the Dems win this, just so we can do an investigation. Did they have the gall to know that when the election polls closed on voting night, on election night, that their candidate lost by 57,000, and you're going to have the gall to say almost like a week later that, look, we found all, you there's no fucking way. I'm almost hoping they do it. I just want to see the reaction. If that doesn't cause people to break out their muskets and start, I don't know what will. These fucking Dems, they ain't the power. It's about the power. The power. Anyways, that is it. Jason, great job today, fella.
Thank you.
It's because you're focused in there. You're not looking at Ryan's undeodorized pits.
Can't help it sometimes.
Yeah, I know. You lean that way.
It's like a car wreck.
I'm not going to argue with that there. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Patrons, I appreciate the support. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and that's when we stream live on YouTube, Facebook, and other places. And I think that's all I got. Anything else? Owen Benjamin might be on tomorrow. We'll give you that. We don't know yet, but we might have him Skype in. He reached out, so I don't know if he has something specific to talk about. I'll talk about anything. I heard him in the car. I'd never really heard any of his bits. He can play a piano like Liberace. I think that's good. I probably just insulted Owen. He's like, Liberace, that guy was a fucking hack. But he's something else on a piano. And he's very bright politically and whatnot. You know who he is. That is it. Thanks a lot. Remember, you guys think it. I will say it. You are welcome. And here's a little something for you. Take care of yourselves.